Introduction: Why these SAP S/4HANA vs ECC interview question and answers. Struggling to articulate the differences between SAP S/4HANA and ECC in job interviews? You are not alone. This video tackles that exact challenge by walking you through real-world interview scenarios, equipping you with the precise answers to impress your interviewer and land that dream SAP role. These 30 scenario-based interview questions and answers prepare SAP professionals for real-world challenges by comparing SAP ECC and S/4HANA functionalities. Each question addresses practical scenarios involving migration, configuration, performance optimization, and business process improvements across modules like MM, FI, and SD. Some curveball questions, clearly marked, simulate high-pressure situations to test strategic thinking and problem-solving skills. These question and answers cover simplified data models, Fiori UX, Universal Journal, and integration differences. This content equips candidates to demonstrate expertise in S/4HANA transitions. Question 1. Scenario: During an S/4HANA migration, material master data from ECC is not populating correctly in the new simplified tables. How would you resolve this issue? Answer: To address material master data issues during an S/4HANA migration, I would systematically validate and correct the data transfer process. This ensures accurate population in simplified tables like MATDOCA. I would review the migration cockpit in LTMC to verify mapping rules for material master fields. B. I would check legacy data in ECC using MM03 and compare with S/4HANA's BP and MATDOC tables. C. I would correct inconsistencies in the staging area and rerun the migration job. D. I would validate the data in MMBE and Fiori material master apps post-migration. Question 2. Scenario: A user reports slow performance in the Fiori purchase order approval app in S/4HANA compared to ECC's ME21N. How would you optimize the performance? Answer: To optimize slow performance in the Fiori purchase order approval app in S/4HANA, I would analyze the application's configuration and back-end processing. I would start by checking the Fiori apps OData service in /IWFND/main_service for latency issues. I would then verify the HANA database performance using Transaction DBA Cockpit, focusing on index optimization and table partitioning for tables like EKKO and EKPO. I would compare the custom code with ECC's ME21N using ATC, ABAP Test Cockpit, to identify deprecated BOPs or inefficient queries. If needed, I would activate caching in the Fiori gateway and adjust the app's configuration in Fiori Launchpad Designer. This approach ensures faster response times and aligns with S/4HANA's in-memory capabilities. Question 3. Scenario: In S/4HANA, the Universal Journal causes discrepancies in FI reports compared to ECC's table-based reporting. How would you reconcile these reports? Answer: To reconcile FI report discrepancies in S/4HANA's Universal Journal compared to ECC, I would analyze the ACDOCA table and reporting logic. This ensures accurate financial reporting. A. I would compare ECC reports in FBL3N with S/4HANA's Fiori analytical apps for GL/B. I would verify data in ACDOCA using SE16H for consistency with legacy tables like BSEG. C. I would adjust report parameters in Fiori or S_ALR transactions to include new fields. D. I would test and validate reports with finance teams for accuracy. Question 4. Scenario: During an S/4HANA migration, the MRP run in MD01N is slower than in ECC's MD01. How would you leverage MRP live to improve performance? Answer: To improve MRP run performance in S/4HANA compared to ECC's MD01, I would implement MRP live, MD01N, to utilize HANA's in-memory processing. I would first analyze the MRP configuration in SPRO to ensure materials are enabled for MRP live. I would verify that the planning scope includes all relevant plants and materials, using transaction MD_MRP_force_classic for any incompatible materials. I would optimize the HANA database by running DBA Cockpit to check for table statistics updates. I would then schedule MRP Live as a background job in SM37, leveraging parallel processing. Post-run, I would validate results in MD04 for accuracy. This approach maximizes S/4HANA's performance benefits over ECC. Question 5. Scenario: a user cannot create a business partner in S/4HANA, unlike ECC's vendor master XK01. How would you configure the business partner setup? Answer: to configure business partner creation in S/4HANA replacing ECC's XK01, I would set up the BP framework correctly. This ensures seamless vendor management. A. I would define BP roles in SPRO, assigning FLVN00 for vendors. B. I would activate Customer Vendor Integration, CVI, in transaction SFW5. C. I would map ECC vendor fields to BP in transaction MDS_PPO2. D. I would create and test a BP in transaction BP. Question 6. Curveball question. Scenario: during an S/4HANA Go Live, a critical FI report fails due to universal journal changes, halting financial closing. How would you resolve this under time pressure? Answer: to resolve a critical FI report failure in S/4HANA during Go Live due to universal journal changes, I would act swiftly to restore financial closing. I would analyze the report in Fiori or S_ALR transactions, comparing it with ECC's FBL3N output to identify missing fields in ACD/OCA. I would check the report's configuration in Fiori Analytical Apps or Report Painter, GRR2, for compatibility with the Universal Journal. As a workaround, I would extract data using SE16H from ACD/OCA and create a temporary query in SQ01. I would collaborate with the FI team to validate results and adjust the report definition. Post-resolution, I would update the report configuration and test in a sandbox to prevent recurrence. Question 7. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the material ledger posting is slower than ECC's CKMLCP. How would you optimize material ledger performance? Answer: to optimize material ledger performance in S/4HANA compared to ECC's CKMLCP, I would leverage HANA capabilities and configuration tweaks. This ensures efficient period-end closing. A. I would run CKMLCP AVR in S/4HANA to activate actual costing. B. I would optimize HANA database indexes for CKMLHD and MLIT using DBA Cockpit. C. I would schedule material ledger runs as parallel jobs in SM37. D. I would verify cost allocation in CKM3 for accuracy. Question 8. Scenario: after migrating to S/4HANA, the purchase requisition process in Fiori is not triggering workflows like ECC's ME51N. How would you configure the workflow? Answer: to configure purchase requisition workflows in S/4HANA's Fiori app replacing ECC's ME51N, I would set up the flexible workflow framework. I would access SPRO to define a workflow scenario for purchase requisitions, assigning conditions like value or material group. I would configure the workflow template in transaction SWDD, linking it to the Fiori app Manage Purchase Requisitions. I would ensure the business partner is correctly mapped via CVI for approval roles. I would test the workflow in the Fiori app, monitoring execution in SWA. This setup streamlines approvals and aligns with S/4HANA's modern UX.
Please check description or comment section of this video. I have given a lot of links for downloading 8 PDFs in a single zip file, containing all types of most asked interview question and answers like scenario-based, technical-based, behavioral-based, real-world problem-solving, generally most asked, system design, most asked implementation project-related questions and answers, support project-related questions and answers. Required for your SAP technical modules interviews jobs like SAP Basis, admin jobs, SAP S/4HANA Consultant Jobs. SAP ABAP Developer Jobs. SAP ABAP OData Developer Jobs. SAP Fiori UE5 Developer Jobs. SAP ABAP HR Consultant Jobs, etc., etc. These questions and answers are carefully curated by industry experts, saving you people hours of research and ensuring you people will have the most accurate and relevant answers. This PDFs includes scenario-based questions and answers, real-world problem solving, interview questions and answers where almost 80% of the people are failing to answer, system design questions and answers where almost 90% of the people are failing to answer, with detailed solutions, which are often missing from free online resources. A lot of people are claiming that these questions are coming in real interviews. So, grab them as soon as possible with both hands. Since these questions and answers covers basic to advanced interview questions and answers, that's why given 50 question and answers for each section, these questions and answers will be helpful for freshers, 2 to 3 years experienced people, and 5 or above years experienced people. Also for your interviews, you people can download all 8 PDFs in a single zip file from below given links.
Question 9. Scenario. In S/4HANA, the sales order creation in VA01 is replaced by a Fiori app, but users face authorization issues. How would you resolve this? Answer. To resolve authorization issues in S/4HANA's Fiori sales order app replacing ECC's VA01, I would adjust role assignments. This ensures seamless user access. A. I would check user roles in PFCG for Fiori app-specific authorizations. B. I would assign the OData service in /IWFND/maint_service to the role. C. I would verify business catalog assignments in Fiori Launchpad Designer. D. I would test access in the Fiori app and monitor errors in SU53. Question 10. Scenario. The inventory valuation in S/4HANA's MATDOC differs from ECC's MB5B report. How would you reconcile the valuation differences? Answer. To reconcile inventory valuation differences between S/4HANA's MATDOC and ECC's MB5B, I would analyze the simplified data model. I would run the Fiori app material inventory values and compare it with ECC's MB5B output for a specific material and period. I would verify the valuation logic in MATDOC using SE16H, focusing on price control and moving average price fields. I would check for any unprocessed material ledger documents in CKM3 and ensure material ledger closing in CKM-LCPAVR. If discrepancies persist, I would run a custom ABAP report to align legacy and new data. This ensures accurate valuation reporting. Question 11. Scenario. In S/4HANA, the production order confirmation is slower than ECC's CO11N. How would you optimize this process? Answer. To optimize production order confirmation in S/4HANA compared to ECC's CO11N, I would leverage HANA's performance capabilities. This improves manufacturing efficiency. A. I would analyze confirmation performance in DBA Cockpit for table AFRU. B. I would enable parallel processing in SPRO for confirmation jobs. C. I would test confirmations in the Fiori app, confirm production order. D. I would verify updates in CO14 for accuracy. Question 12. Curveball question. Scenario. During an S/4HANA upgrade, a custom ECC program for goods receipt fails due to simplified tables. How would you adapt it under time constraints? Answer. To adapt a failing custom ECC program for goods receipt in S/4HANA due to simplified tables, I would quickly modify the code to align with the new data model. I would analyze the program in SE38, identifying references to legacy tables like MKPF and MSEG. I would replace these with MATDOC accesses using the appropriate BOPs, such as BOPI_GeoDSMVT_create. I would test the updated program in a sandbox with transaction MIGO, ensuring correct stock updates in MMBE. As a workaround, I would use standard Fiori apps for goods receipt temporarily. Post-resolution, I would optimize the program with HANA-specific coding in ATC. Question 13. Scenario: in S4 HANA, the credit management process differs from ECC's FD32. How would you configure dynamic credit checks? Answer: to configure dynamic credit checks in S4 HANA replacing ECC's FD32, I would set up the embedded credit management. This ensures accurate credit control. A. I would activate credit management in SPRO for the sales area. B. I would define credit segments in transaction UKM_BP. C. I would configure risk categories and credit limits in Fiori apps. D. I would test credit checks in VA01 for sales orders. Question 14. Scenario: after migrating to S4 HANA, the cost center report shows inconsistencies compared to ECC's KSB1. How would you align the reporting? Answer: to align cost center reporting in S4 HANA with ECC's KSB1, I would address inconsistencies in the Universal Journal. I would run the Fiori app Cost Center actuals and compare it with KSB1 output for the same period. I would verify data in ACDOCA using SE16H, ensuring cost center postings are correctly mapped from legacy tables like COEP. I would check the cost element configuration in SPRO for compatibility with S4 HANA's unified structure. If needed, I would adjust the report definition in Report Painter, GRR2, or create a custom Fiori analytical query. This ensures consistent cost center reporting. Question 15. Scenario: in S4 HANA, the batch management process is not working as expected compared to ECC's MSC1N. How would you configure it? Answer: to configure batch management in S4 HANA replacing ECC's MSC1N, I would adjust the simplified batch settings. This ensures proper batch tracking. A. I would activate batch management in SPRO for the material type. B. I would define batch characteristics in CT04 and assign to classes. C. I would create batches in the Fiori app Manage Batches. D. I would test batch selection in MIGO for goods movements. Question 16. Scenario: the intercompany STO process in S4 HANA is not generating billing documents like ECC's VL10B. How would you resolve this? Answer: to resolve missing billing documents in S4 HANA's intercompany STO process compared to ECC's VL10B, I would configure the output determination. I would check the STO configuration in SPRO, ensuring the delivery type NLCC is linked to billing type 4. I would verify output determination in NACE for application V2, assigning the correct output type for intercompany billing. I would test the STO creation in V21N, delivery in VL10B, and billing in VF01, checking the FI document in FB03. If issues persist, I would adjust copy controls in VTFL for delivery to billing integration. This ensures accurate intercompany billing.
Please check description or comment section of this video. I have given a lot of links for downloading 8 PDFs in a single zip file, containing all types of most asked interview question and answers like scenario-based, technical-based, behavioral-based, real-world problem solving, generally most asked, system design, most asked implementation project-related questions and answers, support project-related questions and answers. Required for your SAP technical modules interviews jobs like SAP Basis admin jobs, SAP S4 HANA consultant jobs, SAP ABAP developer jobs, SAP ABAP OData developer jobs, SAP Fiori UE5 developer jobs, SAP ABAP HR consultant jobs, etc., etc. These questions and answers are carefully curated by industry experts, saving you people hours of research and ensuring you people will have the most accurate and relevant answers. This PDFs includes scenario-based questions and answers, real-world problem solving, interview questions and answers where almost 80% of the people are failing to answer, system design questions and answers where almost 90% of the people are failing to answer, with detailed solutions, which are often missing from free online resources. A lot of people are claiming that these questions are coming in real interviews. So, grab them as soon as possible with both hands. Since these questions and answers covers basic to advanced interview questions and answers, that's why given 50 question and answers for each section, these questions and answers will be helpful for freshers, 2 to 3 years experienced people, and 5 or above years experienced people. Also for your interviews, you people can download all 8 PDFs in a single zip file from below given links.
Question 17. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the embedded EWM setup fails to create warehouse tasks unlike ECC's WM integration. How would you troubleshoot this? Answer: to troubleshoot embedded EWM warehouse task failures in S/4HANA compared to ECC's WM, I would validate the configuration. This ensures proper warehouse operations. A. I would check EWM settings in SPRO for warehouse number mapping. B. I would verify delivery integration in /SCWM or delivery for task creation. C. I would test warehouse tasks in /SCWM or PRDO and monitor in /SCWM or MON. D. I would reconcile with ECC's LT03 task creation process. Question 18. Scenario: after S/4HANA migration, the asset accounting report differs from ECC's AS03 output. How would you align fixed asset reporting? Answer: to align fixed asset reporting in S/4HANA with ECC's AS03, I would address changes in the new asset accounting framework. I would run the Fiori app asset balances and compare it with ECC's AS03 for a sample asset. I would verify data in table ANLC replaced by ACDOCA in SE16H, ensuring depreciation and acquisition values are correct. I would check the depreciation area configuration in SPRO for compatibility with the Universal Journal. If discrepancies exist, I would adjust the report in Fiori Analytical Apps or create a custom query in SQ01. This ensures accurate fixed asset reporting. Question 19. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the purchase order history is not displaying correctly in ME23N compared to ECC. How would you fix this? Answer: to fix purchase order history display issues in S/4HANA's ME23N, I would validate the simplified data model. This ensures accurate transaction history. A. I would check EKBE table in SE16H for PO history entries. B. I would verify data migration logs in LTMC for completeness. C. I would test PO display in the Fiori app manage purchase orders. D. I would reconcile with ECC's ME23N output. Question 20. Curveball question: scenario: during an S/4HANA Go Live, a critical SD report fails due to missing condition records from ECC. How would you resolve this urgently? Answer: to resolve a failing SD report in S/4HANA due to missing condition records from ECC during Go Live, I would act swiftly to restore reporting functionality. I would analyze the report in Fiori or VA05, identifying missing condition types in table KONV replaced by PRCD_elements in S/4HANA. I would check the migration cockpit, LTMC, logs for errors in condition record transfer. As a workaround, I would manually upload critical condition records using VK11 in a sandbox and transport them. I would validate the report output with the SD team and adjust pricing procedures in SPRO if needed. Post-resolution, I would optimize the migration process to prevent future issues. Question 21. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the subcontracting process differs from ECC's ME20. How would you configure it for seamless operation? Answer: To configure subcontracting in S/4HANA replacing ECC's ME20, I would set up the simplified process. This ensures efficient vendor component tracking. A. I would define subcontracting components in SPRO for the PO type. B. I would create a subcontract PO in ME21N with component explosion. C. I would post goods receipt in MIGO and verify stock in MMBE. D. I would test in the Fiori app manage subcontracting POs. Question 22. Scenario: the profitability analysis, COPA, in S/4HANA shows different results than ECC's KE30. How would you align the reporting? Answer: to align profitability analysis in S/4HANA with ECC's KE30, I would address changes in the account-based COPA structure. I would run the Fiori app profitability analysis and compare it with KE30 output for a specific period. I would verify data in ACDOCA using SE16H, ensuring characteristic derivations are correct compared to ECC's CE1XXXX tables. I would check the COPA configuration in SPRO for operating concern settings and value fields. If discrepancies persist, I would adjust the derivation rules in KEDR and test in a sandbox. This ensures consistent profitability reporting. Question 23. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the physical inventory process is not updating correctly compared to ECC's MI01. How would you fix this? Answer: to fix physical inventory updates in S/4HANA compared to ECC's MI01, I would validate the simplified inventory process. This ensures accurate stock adjustments. A. I would create an inventory document in the Fiori app, physical inventory. B. I would post counts in MI04 and adjustments in MI07. C. I would verify updates in MATDOC using SE16H. D. I would reconcile with ECC's MI20 report. Question 24. Scenario: after S/4HANA migration, the vendor invoice verification in MIRO is slower than ECC. How would you optimize this process? Answer: to optimize vendor invoice verification in S/4HANA's MIRO compared to ECC, I would leverage HANA's performance capabilities. I would analyze the invoice verification process in MIRO, checking for delays in table RBKP or EKKO accesses using DBA Cockpit. I would ensure the HANA database is optimized with updated statistics and indexes. I would configure parallel processing for invoice postings in SPRO and test in a sandbox. I would also explore the Fiori app, create supplier invoice for faster processing. This improves invoice verification efficiency.
Please check description or comment section of this video. I have given a lot of links for downloading 8 PDFs in a single zip file, containing all types of most asked interview question and answers like scenario-based, technical-based, behavioral-based, real-world problem solving, generally most asked, system design, most asked implementation project-related questions and answers, support project-related questions and answers. Required for your SAP technical modules interviews jobs like SAP Basis admin jobs, SAP S/4HANA consultant jobs, SAP ABAP developer jobs, SAP ABAP OData developer jobs, SAP Fiori UE5 developer jobs, SAP ABAP HR consultant jobs, etc., etc. These questions and answers are carefully curated by industry experts, saving you people hours of research and ensuring you people will have the most accurate and relevant answers. This PDFs includes scenario-based questions and answers, real-world problem solving, interview questions and answers where almost 80% of the people are failing to answer, system design questions and answers where almost 90% of the people are failing to answer, with detailed solutions, which are often missing from free online resources. A lot of people are claiming that these questions are coming in real interviews. So, grab them as soon as possible with both hands. Since these questions and answers covers basic to advanced interview questions and answers, that's why given 50 question and answers for each section. These questions and answers will be helpful for freshers, 2 to 3 years experienced people, and 5 or above years experienced people. Also for your interviews, you people can download all 8 PDFs in a single zip file from below given links.
Question 25. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the output determination for sales documents differs from ECC's V/30. How would you configure it? Answer: to configure output determination in S/4HANA for sales documents replacing ECC's V/30, I would set up the new framework. This ensures automated outputs. A. I would define output types in SPRO for application V1. B. I would assign output procedures in NACE for sales documents. C. I would create condition records in VV11 for automatic triggering. D. I would test outputs in VA02 and monitor in NAST. Question 26. Scenario: the embedded TM in S/4HANA fails to create freight units unlike ECC's external TM integration. How would you troubleshoot this? Answer: to troubleshoot embedded transportation management (TM) in S/4HANA failing to create freight units compared to ECC's external TM, I would validate the integration setup. I would check the TM configuration in SPRO, ensuring the freight unit building rule is defined for the delivery type. I would verify the transportation planning point in /SCM/TMS or TOR for correct mapping. I would test freight unit creation in the Fiori app, create freight units and monitor logs in /SCM/TMS or MON. If issues persist, I would compare with ECC's LETRA setup and adjust the TM profile. This ensures seamless transportation planning. Question 27. Curveball question: scenario: during an S/4HANA Go Live, a critical batch job for material valuation fails due to HANA table changes. How would you resolve this? Answer: to resolve a failing batch job for material valuation in S/4HANA due to HANA table changes, I would act urgently to restore functionality. This ensures accurate inventory valuation. A. I would analyze the job log in SM37 for table-related errors. B. I would update the ABAP program in SE38 to use MATDOC instead of MSEG. C. I would test the job in a sandbox and verify in CKM3. D. I would schedule the corrected job in SM36. Question 28. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the project system reporting differs from ECC's CJ20N. How would you align PS reporting? Answer: to align project system, PS, reporting in S/4HANA with ECC's CJ20N, I would address changes in the simplified data model. I would run the Fiori app project control and compare it with CJ20N output for a sample project. I would verify data in table PRPS and ACDOCA using SE16H, ensuring WBS element postings are correct. I would check the PS configuration in SPRO for project profile settings and integration with FI. If discrepancies exist, I would adjust the report in Fiori Analytical Apps or create a custom query in SQ01. This ensures consistent PS reporting. Question 29. Scenario: in S/4HANA, the consignment process is not updating vendor stock correctly compared to ECC's MIGO. How would you fix this? Answer: to fix consignment stock updates in S/4HANA compared to ECC's MIGO, I would validate the special stock configuration. This ensures accurate vendor stock tracking. A. I would check the material master in MM02 for consignment stock K. B. I would verify movement type 201K in SPRO for special stock posting. C. I would post consignment withdrawal in MIGO and check MMBE. D. I would reconcile with ECC's MB51 consignment movements. Question 30. Curveball question: scenario: during an S/4HANA upgrade, a critical Fiori app for production planning fails due to missing roles. How would you resolve this under regulatory scrutiny? Answer: to resolve a failing Fiori app for production planning in S/4HANA due to missing roles during an upgrade, I would act swiftly under regulatory scrutiny. I would analyze the app in Fiori Launchpad Designer, identifying required business catalogs and roles. I would check user assignments in PFCG, ensuring the correct OData services are activated in /IWFND/maint_service. I would assign temporary roles for critical users and test the app in a sandbox. I would document the role changes for audit purposes and update the role design in SPRO. Post-resolution, I would validate with the PP team to ensure compliance and functionality.
Please check description or comment section of this video. I have given a lot of links for downloading 8 PDFs in a single zip file, containing all types of most asked interview question and answers like scenario-based, technical-based, behavioral-based, real-world problem solving, generally most asked, system design, most asked implementation project-related questions and answers, support project-related questions and answers. Required for your SAP technical modules interviews jobs like SAP Basis admin jobs, SAP S/4HANA consultant jobs, SAP ABAP developer jobs, SAP ABAP OData developer jobs, SAP Fiori UE5 developer jobs, SAP ABAP HR consultant jobs, etc., etc. These questions and answers are carefully curated by industry experts, saving you people hours of research and ensuring you people will have the most accurate and relevant answers. This PDFs includes scenario-based questions and answers, real-world problem solving, interview questions and answers where almost 80% of the people are failing to answer, system design questions and answers where almost 90% of the people are failing to answer, with detailed solutions, which are often missing from free online resources. A lot of people are claiming that these questions are coming in real interviews. So, grab them as soon as possible with both hands. Since these questions and answers covers basic to advanced interview questions and answers, that's why given 50 question and answers for each section, these questions and answers will be helpful for freshers, 2 to 3 years experienced people, and 5 or above years experienced people. Also for your interviews, you people can download all 8 PDFs in a single zip file from below given links. For more exciting tips, tricks and more importantly, for valuable insights of interviews, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. It has a lot of valuable information about various insights of interviews. It has a wide range of real-world portfolio projects of various technologies for interviews, and it has wide range of most asked interview questions and answers of various technologies like data science, SAP, AWS, DevOps, and full-stack web development and more. That will be useful during interviews. It has a wide range of most asked interview questions and answers and real-world portfolio projects of various technologies for freshers, for 2 to 3 years, experienced candidates, and for 5 or above years, experienced candidates to test their skills by knowing most asked interview questions and make themselves ready for interviews.